Welcome to the Codex app. I'm Paul Solt, and I've been playing around with this app for the past week, and I want to give you a first take and look at the application from OpenAI. So this is called Codex. It is an app. It's down here in the dock. You're going to see this little icon for Codex. This allows you to basically have a front-end user interface on your Codex CLI. So if you've been using something like Ghosty, I use Ghosty all the time, and it's just really nice to have multiple tabs, multiple things up. But if you're not as used to working on the CLI, this might feel a little bit foreign and strange. So if we jump on over to Codex, this allows us to interact with different apps. So I've got this currently set up to work in my presenter app, which is my super easy slideshow app that I published on the App Store with Codex help a couple weeks ago. So I've been fixing up stuff to get ready the onboarding experience. It just wasn't very good when I launched it. And so I've been having Codex fix that up, and I want to take you on a tour of what we're doing. So already since this past week, I have gone through and I've fixed up the first time user experience. I have starter markdown. I have the button to show it. I can show the editor first. I removed the edit button from the preview screen. This one I haven't done yet, so that's next on our list. And I think I need to fix this one up. So we still have to do that. And this last one's probably the easiest. The app doesn't center on the main screen. So let's go ahead and use the new dictate function right here. And I can either click this button or hold the Control M to dictate. Can you make it so that on the first time user experience, when the app first opens after the onboarding screens, we center it in the center of the primary display that it's going to display on? It feels a little bit weird being offset, right? So we can see that it wrote everything here, even the word to dictate. So I'm going to just delete that and get rid of it. If you need to append more, you can just click the button. And can I do one more thing? So if I stop dictation, what you'll see is it will put that right here. And it's great. So I typically will have multiple requests, and so being able to either inline stuff down here at the bottom or append to it is super helpful. Now you can use the Command plus to make the font size bigger or smaller so that it's easier to see. I'll just make that a tad larger, and we'll hit this send button just like you're accustomed to in the ChatGPT app. So it's sending that message. It's using Codex GPT 5.2 Codex on high reasoning. We have a bunch of different options here for choosing between these different models. And then there's additional models if you prefer any of these other ones. All right, I typically just work on Codex High. So this is a great model, and it is looking for my onboarding screens. It is searching. We can see sort of what it is doing as it works. And while it's doing that, you'll see that there's an open button. So here you can choose which app you want it to open in. There's a commit thing, so you can hook into that. Let's take a look at this open while it's thinking. So I'm just going to click this open button. That's going to open up the application. If Xcode was closed, I'll just quit Xcode to show you. And I click open. This should boot up Xcode and open your project. All right, so that's a super easy way to get over to the project. Over here, I'm always working in this changes mode, so I can sort of see what files have changed. And then hiding some of these. We don't need the canvas on this Swift UI, so I'm just going to turn off canvas in Xcode. And I'm going to do Control / to find the relevant code changes. So I can see that it changed some sizing stuff here, and it changed, I think, sizing over here. So I had previously had a request to change some of the sizes because it wasn't all fitting. And now let's see what it is going to do over here. So it's still not done. But while we're waiting for it, we also have this run configuration. So I can run the app or I can run some tests. I have a Makefile connected. So let's just hit the run button just to see what can happen. What we're going to see is it's going to build the app, launch the app, and you're going to see that the slideshow appears in the center. Let's just hide everything so you can sort of see what the first time user experience is like. There's a little video that plays, and then I can click the button next, or I can use the arrow keys to go between these different slides. And then I've got this last screen here, and then hitting getting started or get started will make this go away, makes the app appear. The problem I had is I think the app appeared over here, and that's only because I've used this before. So I just need to make sure that if it's the first time user experience that it is centered. One of the ways that I'm doing that is I've got buttons over here to reset all of the first time user experience in Markdown. It puts a sample presentation here on the right. You can edit this if you want to. So if you want to add a new slide, we can do that right here. There's a new slide. I think we can do emoji and hit save, and we'll have that in our new slide. All right, so this is a cool slideshow. If I go ahead and hit Command R, it will run the slideshow, and I can step through these different slides. And these are automatically numbered or generated depending on certain configurations over on the left side. So that's the app. We're working on the first time user experience, which is this screen. So if I go to developer and I reset all first time user experiences, let's just shift this over here. I'm going to quit the app. Let's get this out of the way. And then we're going to go back over to Codex, which is right here. And we can see it has finished. So let's see what it changed. I'm going to hide the bottom bar with Command J. And we can see that it ran make clean, make build. Looks like it was missing a file. Not sure what that's about because it built for me. And then here we can see the change. If we want to see this bigger, we can bring open the diff panel, which is Command Option B. I'll just click the button and we'll look at the unstaged changes. And here there is a file tree. We can just hide that so that we can focus on the code here. If this is too big, you can always make it smaller. So I can just use the Command minus to make it a little smaller so that we can see more code. And we should see should center editor after onboarding. And we can see the size information is here and center on primary display. So there's the onboarding, and then there is the existing window, which should be this one. Let's expand this just to sort of see what's going on. So this is open onboarding, and which one is this? That's the editor. So the editor, we want to see center editor if needed. It looks like it added this little thing down at the bottom. So we've got a little function here, which is set on start, and then it gets set to false. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. And how does it store it? I don't know if that stores it in app media, but let's see if it works. So I'm going to hit the run button. It's going to run my Makefile that is building my Mac app. And is that centered? So let's hide others. I think so. But that's not what we're testing. We're testing once we click, 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 and hit get started. Okay, so it centered it, but since I had already shifted it, it did it after the render loop. So this is something where I would go back and say, okay, it's not quite doing what I want. So let's close the diff panel. And let's use the dictate. It centered it, but it centered it after it laid out. Is it possible to center the window before it is presented to the user? Because it looks weird when it jumps. And granted, most likely it's not going to jump, but I don't know. Since this is all the first time user experience, we got to make sure that it's very deterministic. Can you fix it? So just transcribe and send and see what can it can do. And we lost our sticky, but this one's almost done. It's just a matter of like polishing it just a little bit. Okay, while we're doing that, this is the console button. So if you click this button, it will hide and show the console. The keyboard shortcut for that is Command J. And if it's too small, again, you can control the font size with the Command plus and minus keys. And while we're talking about that, while this is thinking, I have another app here. This is a iPhone app. And I added real-time transcription. And I want to say, okay, let's just run it and see what happens here. So I'll just hit the run button. Again, I've got a Makefile set up so that this will build and run and launch a simulator. So I'm expecting to see a simulator pop up once it finishes building. And we see my last app that I was working on, and then we see this app. So let's rearrange just a little bit here. And we can hide this. and bring this up top. So this is my voice recorder. I can just start recording and it starts immediate recording. Right now it's got the live dictation stuff. This hasn't quite worked for me, so this is something that I'm going to have to fix up a little bit. But if I hit stop, we'll see if anything worked. I don't think it's working. So I'm going to turn off the live transcription. We're just going to make it so that we can just transcribe. Okay, so I need to say a couple different words, and we're talking about Swift UI and Xcode, iOS, Core ML. One of the nice things is that you can provide a dictionary of words. We can talk about OpenAI or Codex and ChatGPT. And if I have a custom word like a new technology, I can go click here and add something down at the bottom. It looks like it's got Codex, but the wrong spelling. I want Codex from OpenAI, so I can add that to my dictionary while I'm recording. And then I can stop, and then crossing my fingers this is going to work. It is going to use the Whisper SDK, and it will transcribe everything that we just did. Or this one's actually doing it locally, I think. So we'll wait for that. Okay, so back over in this app, we'll see that this row has a little dot over on the side here. That dot means that it is finished. And so if we click on it, we will see that it has done some additional work. And let's see, what did it change? We click here. It added some stuff. There was a dispatch async for some reason. That seems a little bit odd. Hopefully this works and doesn't break other features. Let's go ahead and hit run. And then the transcript over on the left looks like it's done. Oh no. Oh no, that did not work. I don't know what I'm doing. Sometimes transcripts go off the rocker. So there must be something to fix this. But you can see this is working. If we play it, that is me. I'm going to hit retry and see if we can get a better transcription. That is why I have a retry button. And so now what we want to do is I've got to reset the developer experience real quick. We're going to quit the app. Actually, we probably need to launch it again, but I don't know if I pushed it off to the side. So if we go next, get started, we should see this here. Now let's just, for testing purposes, put it there, reset all state, quit the app. We'll go ahead, run it one more time, and hit next, get started. Boom, right in the center. Can I click on it? So one of the things that I had issues with is if I'm working on another app and I want to like turn off draggable, okay, that works. So it didn't break that feature. And I should be able to click on it from another app. So if we're looking at the transcript here, oh, something is super broken. So I don't know what's going on there. I should be able to switch slides here. That time it didn't actually work on this panel. So that might be another bug to fix. But then we can start the slideshow, use the arrow keys to go right through. Right now I'm noticing that my cursor is still visible. It should auto hide after 2 seconds. That's another thing that we can fix with a simple prompt to Codex. All right, thanks for watching. Thanks for taking a look at what Codex can do. This app is really powerful. Codex 5.2 on high is the best model that you can be coding with. I think you're going to like this app. It makes it really easy to jump between different apps that you're working on. Thanks for watching, and hit the like button if you learned something in this video. And if you have any questions about how this app works, comment down below. Thanks so much, and I'll see you in the next video.